A close call, a moment of danger when life can hang in the balance.
It was about survival at that point.
A split second where the outcome could go either way.
I knew I had to get the people out of the car.
The difference between disaster and survival.
It was terrifying. I thought it was game over.
These are the people that have been there and lived to tell the tale.
When the doctor had a word with us, I thought I was preparing us for David's death.
It's like something out of a horror film.
Their instincts and resources, coupled with the quick thinking of others, helped to pull them through.
I wanted to keep them awake. I needed to keep them awake.
And their dramatic experiences were recorded on camera.
Your life is on the line.
It's a day they'll never forget. The day they had a close call. Today on Close Calls, a kayaker is stuck fast with his head underwater in the rapids. His friends have seconds to save him from drowning.
When I initially saw him, I thought that could be the end.
Coming up, a car is wrecked after a crash on a level crossing. A couple find the driver trapped and make this 999 call.
Is he awake?
Yes, he is, but he's smothered in blood. The engine is smouldering.
And after a successful downhill run over jumps, mountain biker Ziggy decides to go faster over the log steps. But it's too fast. He loses control.
Hit the ground really hard, really hard. The snap noise in the video we thought was his arm.
Exmoor, North Devon. A group of kayakers are taking on the challenging rapids of the East Lin River. It's some of the most exciting water in the UK and some of the most dangerous, as one of them is about to find out. When he makes a mistake and suddenly gets wedged between two rocks, he's stuck fast. His head is submerged in the roaring river. His friends must act or he'll drown in front of their eyes. Carpenter Mark Hardingham from Bristol has been whitewater kayaking in his spare time for the past 10 years.
I just love water. Anything to do with water and nature, trees. When you kayak, you see the world from a different perspective. Not many people see nature from the center of a river looking outwards. And when you've got nice features in the river, little drops and small waterfalls and things like that, it's just great.
Mark regularly paddles with another Mark, his friend Mark Shackleton.
Well, we met about 4 years ago now. We met on the river, purely by coincidence. We're quite similar characters, actually. I mean, we both work in the building trade. I think we've both got a similar sort of outlook on life. I mean, by that, we just don't take things too seriously, really.
But they do take their kayaking seriously. This November day, they're on the East Lin River that runs steeply out of Exmoor into the Bristol Channel.
It was the same as any other day, really. I mean, it's a river I've done hundreds of times, hundreds with Mark.
This time they've met up with several of their other kayaking friends, and Mark Shackleton is recording their progress on a helmet camera.
Yeah, the weather was brilliant, the water levels were good, and it started out perfectly.
But it's not going to go perfectly for the other Mark. He's in one of the green kayaks with a red helmet.
Everyone was having a great time. I wasn't particularly paddling very well that day, which is what happens sometimes.
He might not be paddling to his usual standard, but like most extreme sportsmen, Mark doesn't give up easily. He carries on to the most challenging part of the river. It's a decision he's going to regret.
There's generally 6 grades of water, and the simplest way of explaining it is a grade 1 would be something like a canal, whereas a grade 6 could be anything from something like Niagara Falls to even a tiny little stream that plunges into a really difficult cataract or something like that, where potentially you could get stuck and a fatality could be possible.
Now the group are approaching a gorge which rates grade 5. They have all the gear to deal with the big rocks and steep drops, helmets, life jackets, and a spray deck which keeps them in the kayak and the water out. It's a tricky section which less experienced kayakers walk around, but these lads have all done it before.
You wouldn't get to these places without the kayak. These deep gorges, sometimes it's just they're inaccessible by foot or without climbing equipment.
They plan carefully, but sometimes things don't go to plan.
We are aware that things can go wrong, and we do carry certain basic bits of kit, such as throw lines, which are ropes, and slings and carabiners, stuff like that, just to get us out of tricky situations.
Soon, Mark will need his friend's skill and experience.
A couple of guys were in front of me, and I went down trying to do a smooth move that I'd done a couple of months earlier.
Mark is attempting to do a jump called a flare.
I should be coming down this central slot here where all the water's coming down, and I'm trying to skim my boat off of this central rock and land safely in the eddy behind. Basically, the river pushed me into a place I didn't want to be.
Mark misses his line in the river and instead is swept the wrong side of the rock into a dangerously narrow channel. As he drops over the waterfall, the front of his kayak jams on the riverbed and he gets sucked under the water. Mark Shackleton's head camera catches the quick-thinking team's response. They paddle swiftly over to where Mark's kayak is wedged between two rocks. His pals are all experienced kayakers and know exactly what to do. Reaching the bank, Mark Shackleton quickly pulls the release on his spray deck and heads over to his friend. One of the team is already with Mark. The sheer force of the water pouring over his helmet is creating an air pocket. He's let them know he's okay and able to breathe, but he can't free himself from the kayak. He'll need help with that.
I gave them a signal, thumbs up, through the curtain of water to say, I'm okay, I've got some air.
Let's get him stabilised.
We knew he had air, so we had a bit of time to think, work out what was going on.
I reckon we need his life jacket. You got
The plan was to get a line on him, get him stable, because we didn't want him getting further into difficulty.
Mark Shackleton jumps across to a rock so he can lift his friend clear of the water and free him. Following their emergency procedures, the team now have Mark's head above water. Next, they need him to release himself from the kayak, which is pinning him down.
I tried to get my spray deck off, and I couldn't reach it.
Don't think he could get to it at the time. I think it was stuck.
Mark ends up dangling uncomfortably in the full flow of the river, but a crisis has been averted and they know they can get him to safety.
So eventually we just pulled him out, pure force, pulled him up.
At last, Mark's free and he's unhurt.
I thank the lads and apologise for getting them in that situation, but we do get things happen often when we're kayaking, but it was one of the more serious ones.
But despite the drama, Mark's keen to carry on. He doesn't want to end on a bad note and is determined to conquer this part of the river.
I want to prove to the lads I could do it properly, as I had done before.
The team are all up for another go. They retrieve Mark's kayak, and on another run, he pulls it off, but not to his usual standard.
He actually hit the line second time round. You know, it wasn't immaculate, but he was where he wanted to be. But he still thought he could do it better.
He wants one more attempt, hoping for third time lucky. Later, Mark's luck runs out as he comes to grief at exactly the same place, but this time it's far worse. He's totally trapped under the water, unable to breathe. He's drowning. Coming up, 3 mountain bikers are filming some action shots at a cycle park when one friend provides a little more drama than they'd bargained for.
I was afraid to get up because I didn't know what actually happened to my body.
Any misjudgments at a level crossing can have disastrous consequences. This is the story of one young man whose car was hit. The moment he was discovered is recorded in the call to emergency services. Keltsale in Suffolk. There's been a major collision on a railway level crossing.
Ambulance service, tell me exactly what's happened.
Somebody's been hit on a car by a train.
A driver misses the warning lights and runs straight into the path of an oncoming train.
And I genuinely didn't notice any lights. It was just a glance to the left and it was like, oh my God. I had this quick flash of thought and my steering wheel and my hands just went to the left, and that's all I remember.
The impact is massive.
We heard the horrible boom noise. My first instinct was it was a plane crash.
The driver is trapped inside the mangled wreckage.
Is he awake?
Yes, he is, but he's smothered in blood.
And the petrol tank could ignite at any moment.
The engine is smouldering. We will get you out as soon as possible, Josh. Stay there, sweetheart.
It's a Saturday morning and 21-year-old Josh Smith is on his way to work as a barman at a local holiday park.
And I just started in April, so I just got my life on track, got my new job, driving to work and everything. I decided not to take the normal route on the A12 due to roadworks. I thought, carry on this way, should be hunky-dory.
He knows the level crossing is coming up and deliberately slows down.
If you go too fast over bumpy bits, my radio in my car used to go, so I knew to take it a bit steady, but I knew there was a crossing there, so I knew not to fly over it.
There are no barriers at the crossing ahead.
And then as I'm driving along, the hedges overgrow a lot more. They come over the sides, they're pretty much into the road. And I genuinely didn't notice any lights. And then all of a sudden I come to the crossing and I look left and there was a train all of a sudden. I had this quick flash of thought and my steering wheel and my hands just went to the left.
As the train hits the car, the steering wheel is ripped from Josh's hands. The passenger side of the car is completely flattened. From their cottage next to the tracks, Paul Sheridan and his wife Karen hear a massive crash.
We heard the horrible boom noise. First instinct was it was a plane crash. Didn't register that the train hit the car. Then we rushed to the front door. What I saw was half of a vehicle missing off the passenger side. The debris was all over the railway crossing, right down to the next railway crossing. Josh come round in pain, awful screaming pain it was. And then I told Karen to call everyone, all the emergency services.
Josh, his name's Josh.
His name's Josh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just stay on the line with me, okay? Don't move him or anything.
No, I'm telling my husband. The car's complete right off, but he's flipped. Don't pull him out.
The train and its 60 passengers has pulled up safely further along the track. Police, paramedics, 4 fire crews and an air ambulance are all on their way. The focus of this rescue operation will be on Josh.
His steering wheel was up on his chest and his feet were twisted and punched up to the steering wheel.
I was sat in my seat. They couldn't get me out.
There was steam coming from the car.
Josh is trapped within half a metre of his burning car engine.
I heard the other guy mention something about a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, that's my husband's gone to get that, because
Right.
we're right here.
Right, okay, so why has he gone to get that?
Because the engine is smouldering.
Paul runs to get a fire extinguisher.
There was a small flame which I put out on the bottom of the vehicle, and then I assumed I had to cut the battery, which I did, and I threw the battery. As I'm in the building trade, when there is something like that, you always automatically kill a battery to kill the electrics.
What are they doing now with the fire extinguisher?
We're just putting the steam out there, that do. Oh God, how long are they going to be?
All right, they come as quick as possibly can, so we've got police set fire, everybody's on roost, okay?
Okay.
The flames are out, but the engine is still smoking and Josh is clearly in distress.
I heard someone mention his legs a while ago.
He's foot trapped, but we're not moving him.
Right.
Paul is desperate to get Josh out of the wreckage, but moving him may make his injuries worse.
Paul, stop crying. Just get down. He does more damage than good.
All right, yeah, don't
No,
move
we're
him
not,
at all,
we're not.
okay? All right, because we don't really know what his injuries are.
They're all coming, please.
I just wanted to get him out of that, but I couldn't.
The one thing Paul can do for Josh is wrench open the front car door to give him more space and air.
My first instinct was to help that person, to open that door, ripping it and bending it. It's just amazing what a human being can do.
Then, to Paul's horror, the engine reignites.
It started flaring up again, so I put that out. There was nothing left of the fire extinguisher, it was empty.
I need to get out of here. We will get you out as soon as possible, Josh. All right, darling. We're all here with you, mate. We're all here with you. Nothing is going to happen. We've got these coming now. We're in there, Josh.
The emergency services decide the only way to get Josh out is to cut off the car roof.
It was quite freaky, you know, hearing all this loud machinery going on literally close to your head, and then all of a sudden they said, right, we're going to cut you out of your car now.
Extraordinarily, Josh escapes the mangled wreckage of his car with only minor injuries.
2 broken toes from impacts, and I had scars, cuts all across my face down this side. I looked like Two-Face. If you looked at me like this, I didn't look like I had a problem, and then as soon as you look around, and then up my arm, you can see I've got some scars and stuff still from where the glass had broken the screen.
To get out of something like that, a 250 tonnes panned into a little ton vehicle, like a tin can being squashed, is, wow, it's incredible. It is so lucky.
It's only once Josh is out of the car that the two men realise they're workmates.
When he was actually cut out the vehicle and put on the bed to the ambulance, they were saying he was going to Cliff House, and then I realised it was Josh, the barman.
That was mind-blowing, that really was, to think such a small world and think how I'd met him once at work and then to see him save my life effectively.
Josh and Paul revisit the scene of the accident.
Oh, and here's some of the number plate left off the vehicle. Still scattering everywhere. All the way down to the next railway crossing. Very lucky chap.
There's no doubt that Josh might not have survived without Paul and Karen's quick thinking.
Thank you very much for being there at the right time. Undescribable, really. It's to know they were there for me at that time.
Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire. 3 friends are enjoying some downhill mountain biking at a cycle park. It's a regular weekend activity for Ziggy, who's wearing the white shirt, and 2 biking friends.
Yeah, a lot of obstacles such as jumps, trees, turns, twists, and anything can go wrong anytime. It's one of the most dangerous parts of mountain biking.
Pete is filming the action. They all clear a series of jumps and then it's on to the log steps. It's considered an easier section of the downhill. Jim goes first, but as Ziggy follows, disaster.
Everything happened really quickly. I just went to the air and I felt a huge impact to my head. All life was sucked out of me at that point, and I was afraid to get up because I didn't know what actually happened to my body. I was afraid to see that something has gone broken.
Mountain biking is a serious hobby for Jim, Peter and Ziggy. It's fast and at times risky, but as a way of relaxing, nothing else comes close.
Friends is also one of the big factors in the sport. And of course, the adrenaline.
The best moments are airtime, when you can find a good launch and you can get the bike off the ground for long periods of time.
Almost every run, one of us will have a crash.
One day in August, the lads decide to spend a day at a cycle park they all know well. It has 6 downhill tracks, built in woodland not far from Stonehenge.
We've ridden it many times before. We know all the people, the staff that works there, and there are difficult and dangerous sections there, but there are also sections that could be enjoyed by riders that have less experience.
First, they tackle a series of jumps. Pete is doing the camera work. They all make it over safely. Ziggy is feeling confident.
So before the jump, you feel that fear, and after you do it, you feel a sense of accomplishment. Yes, I did it.
The next challenge is cycling down a series of log steps. It's not the first time that they've tackled these obstacles.
The Pete was doing the camera work because he suffers with a bad knee, so after a few hours he's limping a bit. I went through first, and Ziggy was close behind me.
The friends always take precautions before her downhill. They walk the trail. They wear the best safety equipment. But here, Ziggy decides to up his speed.
I rode this part many times. I thought, oh, I could do this even faster. I know I could do this. I think I'm ready for it. But this time, since the speed was much bigger, I didn't brake at all before that section.
In fact, Ziggy is going too fast. And as he hits the log, he loses control. He's sent hurtling over the handlebars.
The bike bounced quite hard on him and he flew through. It was dumb luck that I actually managed to end up with the camera pointing straight into his face as he flew across towards me. He really did land close. It was about a foot away from me by the time he hit the floor. Hit the ground really hard, really, really hard. The snap noise in the video we thought was his arm.
I felt a huge impact to my head. And all life was sucked out of me at that point, and I was afraid to get up. I was afraid to see that something has gone broken.
Ziggy is dazed.
I just felt dizziness and I couldn't speak properly, and I had a blurry vision.
Ziggy's friends are relieved to see he's conscious and moving. Their worst fear is a spinal injury. But they can see he is pale as well as a little confused.
Yeah, it wasn't making any sense. He was talking Lithuanian gibberish.
Ziggy eventually gets unsteadily to his feet, but is now complaining of pain in his wrist. Pete and Jim insist he gets checked out at A&E.
I had a head concussion, bruises on my whole right side of the body. I had a massive bruise on my right side of the stomach, and I had a broken arm which was put into the cast. First 2 days were just horrible for me. I just laid in bed and tried to recover because I felt that my head was going to explode. Actually, I never felt such a feeling before.
Ziggy's helmet has saved his life. He's still suffering from the after effects of the concussion. He's back on his bike, but on medical advice, he hasn't yet tackled another fast downhill.
I crashed so many times in the past, and I had so many close calls that I actually started believing in guardian angels. I think someone's up there is looking after me and just letting me live, you know, because one person cannot get lucky that many times.
A group of friends kayaking on Exmoor's East Lin River have rescued their pal Mark Hardingham after he got stuck in the fast-flowing water. He wants to attempt the same stretch again, one last time.
I wanted to prove to the lads that I could do it properly, as I had done before.
Mark's not having the best day on the water, but he's determined to conquer this difficult section.
On the third attempt, my friend Mark came up with me. We ran it together.
His close pal Mark Shackleton goes first, filming with a helmet camera. He pulls off a fancy jump. Then they all turn to watch Mark come down. They see the water pushing him towards the bank. And they know straight away he's in trouble. Mark fights to correct his line, but it's too late. The water pushes him into exactly the same gap where he was caught before.
I didn't make it. I made the exact same mistake as I did the first time.
But this time it really is a life or death situation. His kayak's wedged deeper and his head is completely below the raging torrent.
And I didn't have an air pocket. I knew I was already in that worst situation. I knew I was deep, and there was a rock right up against my chest, and it was restricting my breathing. There was no air and no chance of even drawing it if there had been any, because my chest was crushed.
This time the signals are not calm. He's waving his arms around. You know, I know something's really wrong, and we haven't got the time. You know, we know he's not breathing, so we have to do something quickly.
Again, risking injury to himself, Mark Shackleton bravely leaps across to the rock he stood on earlier to grab his friend.
I knew my best mate is the top man to get me out. And the other guys are great as well. And I knew I just had to rely on them.
I just tried to repeat what I'd done before, which was pull him back out the way he went in. It didn't work this time round. He was that deep. He wasn't coming back out that way.
And I have to be honest, panic did start to set in. And as much as they were trying to pull me up, I put my hands out and gestured that that wasn't working.
Mark's been under the water for over a minute now, longer than most people can hold their breath. His friends have only seconds to get him out, or they will watch him drown.
You haven't got much time when you can't breathe. I thought it's probably going to be a resuscitation. They're going to have to drag me out and give me the kiss of life kind of thing.
I was worried that he wasn't going to come out alive.
In desperation, Mark Shackleton dives into the river in a last-ditch attempt to save his friend.
I realised we have to try something different. So I've jumped in the water, I've jumped down in below him now, and I've reached down to the end of his boat, and I can feel his boat stuck underneath the rocks. So I managed to grab hold of the grab handle, and I pulled as hard as I could, just with my hand, and I managed to budge it half an inch.
It's enough. Suddenly, the boat moves through the gap and Mark is brought out fighting for breath.
I emerged out the bottom, gasping a bit, complaining that my leg was stuck in the boat. And I think we all breathed a sigh of relief.
I know you can, I can see.
Once he's out of the water, it slowly catches up with Mark just how lucky he's been.
I do remember we stood leaning on a big rock, and I saw how shaken my friends were, and I felt guilty.
I was shook up. I mean, at the time, like I said, I went into autopilot and I didn't think about that. But afterwards, I was shocked. I had to sit down and take a few deep breaths.
I said I have to get off the river. This is not a good day for me. I finally realised I was quite shaken. But then we went to the pub.
Mark hasn't let the experience dampen his love of kayaking.
All people who do these kind of sports have to remember, and to be honest, most of them do, is to surround yourself with a good team. And I was surrounded by a really strong team, Barney, Mark, and the other guys. If I wouldn't have had the right guys there, you wouldn't be doing this interview, really.
It was close enough for me to think that he wasn't going to come home that night. When I initially saw him, I thought that could be the end. And the sense of relief when he came out was indescribable. I was happy.
I remember in the pub, we were thinking about what had happened, and I said to the lads, whatever happens, happens, but don't let my wife know, because it'll frighten her.
Don't worry, Mark, your secret's safe with us. That's all for today. Join us next time for more stories from people about the day they had a close call. Today on Close Calls, a young British man stands on a platform more than 150 feet up. He's about to jump attached to a bungee rope. Or that's what he thinks.
During the actual jump, I had no idea anything had gone wrong at all. I was expecting to just whiz it back up.